Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Sorry this is coming out so late. I've been trying to upload this video since 1:30 and I practically had to factory reset my tablet. Because for whatever odd reason, it was not uploading. So, apologies for that. But, before we get started, Ryan 142154 made a comment that I feel like I need to address. So I don't like Allie at all. This isn't about really just the whole rape thing. This is just in general. I don't like her. I don't like her personality. I don't like the sound of her voice. I don't like her posture. I just do not like this woman. With that being said, no matter how much I don't like someone, I would never wish what happened to her on my worst enemy. I just wouldn't. It's just unspeakable. And the reason why I'm sitting there calling out this person's name is because they made a comment saying that something along the lines of, this is the reason why women are afraid to come forward, when they have like rape cases and stuff like that, because guys like me don't believe them and all sorts of other stuff. Now, here's the thing. When I do these reviews and I talk about a certain topic, I like to look at the whole picture. Not just from the victim, but the consequences that happens, say they didn't do it. Because the bottom line is this. Even if Tripp, they wound up vindicating him and he's cleared of the charges. Here's the thing about humans. Well, they're not all smart. Rather, I should sit there and say that they tend to think with their emotions first and their logic side second. Any sort of relationship he's going to have, any sort of employer he's going to work for, there's always going to be that one person that's going to sit there and look at Tripp sideways and wonder, was he really guilty? I mean, I know he was clear, but was he really guilty? I just don't know. There's always that one person. And just the damage that comes from that psychologically of, him having to deal with that. Now, the reason why this whole, Allie case thing bothered me was because during this process, she started to have doubts. She started to doubt her own story. She started to doubt her own memories. And yes, alcohol was involved. And that does impair someone's memory. It just does. But, yeah, when she started telling the story, halfway through, when she was sitting there telling it with Steven, she was sitting there telling it with Tripp, there was times that she doubted her own story. So, my whole thing about when you accuse someone of rape is that you better damn make sure that you are 100% absolutely sure that what you remember happened, what happened actually happened. Because if there's any doubts, in your mind, if there's a slight, hesitation, then you can potentially ruin this person's life forever. Forever. The psychological damage that this person's going to have to sit there and face, the scrutiny that he's going to have to sit there and face, regardless if he's cleared or not. And that's my whole issue with this whole Allie rape situation. Absolutely. When, I want her to sit there and find some sort of closure, and I want her to sit there and speak on what happened. What I don't want to see is her second guessing herself, because that just leads everyone down a really terrible path, and that's my issue. So, now that that's out the way, let's talk about Claire. Here's the thing about Claire. She has, for me, always been a vapid character. Nothing really issues that truly bother me about her, except for today. So, Marlena and John are pretty much telling Claire that, there's a possibility that Charlie isn't the good guy that you think he is, and that he could possibly be Tripp's brother, and he could have had something to do with Allie's rape. And she just blows up at them. Okay? She's at a point where she's just like, I finally found a good guy, and, a guy who loves me and respects me, and yada, 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 yada. And this is where we get to desperate Claire, thirsty Claire, annoying Claire. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I felt like we had to deal with throughout most of this episode. She stormed out the room like a 16-year-old little girl, and she went to the police station, and she had a brief argument with her own cousin, because her cousin at this point, Allie, is not there confronting, this POS of a guy, and she practically kicks him out so she can have a one-on-one conversation with him. She does that, and of course, nothing but lies come out of Charlie's mouth because, well, that's pretty much what's going to come out of his mouth. It's just nothing but lies. Lie after lie after lie. Oh, I'm a good guy. You know me. Your parents know me. You know that I would never do something like that. So he lies about Claire. I mean, he lies about Allie. He lies about Ava being his mother and Tripp being his half-brother. He just lies. And I felt like Claire just believed him because she wanted to believe him. Yeah, she had her doubts. She was like, well, these people are saying this and these people are saying that. Think about the people that are saying this to you. These are the people that you know your whole life. This guy you've been out with, what, a month? Maybe 2? The fact that you're even sitting there doubting these people, your own family, is just very telling about this character. So, yeah, Charlie continues to lie to her. And at some point, Sean pulls her out the interrogation room. And it's like, listen, there's a possibility that, first of all, Claire's like, oh, well, everyone's not there telling me these lies and stuff like that, and this can't be true, and yada, yada, yada. And this is when Sean is like, listen, we found Ava Vitale tied up in Charlie's apartment. And the look on her face was absolutely priceless. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't even actually have sympathy for her. I really don't. It's hard for me to have sympathy for her after the way that she blew up on her grandparents. Just irritated me to no end. I would definitely sit there and say. And, yeah. So now she looks like a dumb idiot. And I have no idea what's going to go on moving forward, but I feel like she still is not going to believe. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because I like actually being positive in these reviews. I don't like talking about a character that irritates the living ish out of me. I don't. But she did. Have I'll actually tell you the truth, she irritated me more than Allie, and that's a feat all on his own. So let's go back a bit. Allie goes into the interrogation room to talk to Charlie. And of course, Charlie just lies and denies everything. I'm not Tripp's brother. Tripp is the one that did this to you. I don't know who this Ava is. And Allie's like, you have a son. Throughout all this mess, you have a son. Of course, at this point, he's just so far into denial and just trying to save his own ass that he doesn't even recognize his own son. He's just like, nope, I don't have a son, and he just continues to lie. And to be honest, I knew that's exactly what he was going to do the minute Allie sat down and started talking to him. I knew it. So the fact that Claire kicked her out the room, well, didn't really mean that much of anything, because it's not like she was actually getting anything out of him. So, yeah. Now in the beginning, Rafe and Nicole came to the hospital to try to talk to Ava. Rafe wanted to sit there and question her, but Tripp and Steve was like, yo, you're not going to get anything out of her. She's, like, barely lucid. So, I don't exactly remember exactly what happened. See, this kind of sucks, because my memory was so sharp before, but whatever. At some point, Rafe talks to, Nicole. And I gotta sit there and say, the more I see Nicole, the more I'm starting to dislike this character. So, and let me tell you why. At some point, Rafe said something about Ava, and Nicole defended her. It was like, I know she's a bad person, yada yada yada, but she's my friend. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. When you thought Tripp did what he did, you were full blown going straight at him. Okay? You were disgusted at him, at what he did, or allegedly did at this point. But at this point, she knows, I'm gonna have to assume, because this is old news, that she knows about Ava raping Steve. So I'm like, let me get this straight. You're totally upset with what you thought Tripp did, but you're still willing to sit there and call Ava your friend? Are you okay? Alright, this just being a hypocrite at its finest. I don't know if this is a sexist thing or just a Nicole thing, but yeah, she literally irritated the absolute life out of me. So at some point she goes and she talks to Ava, and Ava's kind of in and out of it. 1 minute she's here, the next minute she's sitting there, I don't know, dreaming that Charlie's out to sit there and kill Tripp again. But long story short, she does tell Nicole that Charlie did admit to raping Allie. So at some point, Nicole and Allie get back together. And Nicole is kind of annoyed, kind of upset with Allie for confronting Charlie. Now, I'm actually on Allie's side. Listen, this guy did this to you. You definitely need to sit there and confront him. Hopefully not with a gun, but you definitely need to sit there and confront your attacker. And Nicole tells Allie that Ava, confirmed that Charlie was the one that did this to her. So, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens with that. Now, Tripp is pissed. He wants to go to the police station to confront Charlie and demand that he tells the truth and that he gets the DNA test. Steve tells him, listen, this is a bad idea. I've taken the law into my hands plenty of times, and I barely got out alive. It was just pure luck that I'm here with you guys now. And, on one end, I'm like, listen, I get what Steve is saying. Listen, I tried taking the law in my own hand, and it barely didn't work out for me. But at the same time, it's like telling somebody not to do something that you did. It's like, but you did it, And at one point, Tripp was like, yeah, it was luck, but you're still here. So, like, whatever. But yeah, he does get Tripp to kind of settle down and be like, listen, let Rafe, take the reins on this one, and just see what happens. So Tripp was like, for now, I'll just kind of just chill out, you know. I don't know exactly how long that's gonna last, but he gave you a temporary promise. So yeah. Now, only other things that really happened that really wasn't that interesting was Bella and Sean got home. They made sure the coast was clear, and then they were to have sex. And then they went over John and Marlene's house to look for Claire. Now, John is kind of kicking himself a little bit because, he wants to sit there and try to calm her down and talk to her. And Marlene is like, listen, just give her some time and some space. This is all new to her, and it's kind of shocking. And, now I'm sitting there saying that out loud. It's like, I understand why Claire is, shocked. But the way that she handled it was just piss poor at best. So I'm just like, John, you really shouldn't be kicking yourself. You should be sitting there saying, why is she acting like such a brat when you've known her your entire life? And Claire, you known Charlie for like, what, maybe a month and a half? Are you kidding me? So, yes. That's pretty much about it, all that happened that I can sit there and remember. I don't think anything else majorly happened, but if it did, let me know in the comment section. I do like to sit there, and here's the thing. It's not like I'm calling out this person because I'm just want to be a dick. But I do like to, if anyone have any questions or anything like that, that I can sit there and not just comment on, but say in my next video, I'll definitely do that because the feedback that I do get from my subscribers, people that watch, is very important to me. And I do take it to heart, one way or the other. And will address anything that, that I can address. Also, I want to sit there and thank everyone. I want to thank the people who've been rocking with me as far as watching my videos, and commenting, and just watching it in general. I want to thank you. I also want to sit there and thank my new subscribers, for subscribing to my channel. I know that there's 2 other people that do exactly what I do. So I appreciate everyone's time and patience as far as my videos and when they come out and just watching them. I want to thank everyone. So yes, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Any comments, definitely write it down. I love to sit there here because when I'm bored at work or just in general, comment section is definitely what I go to when I get a chance to kind of, look at my phone like I'm not supposed to. Be safe. I will catch everyone in the next video.